All right, what's up, guys? How are you guys doing? Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to get a lot of people upset with this one probably, but I think it warrants talking about. So the video I want to talk about today is basically the future of grading. Okay. Now, I want to kind of pick and choose some current problems that a lot of people kind of face in the market right now, right? So with grading, everybody knows PSA, right? PSA is the powerhouse. And as I go through this video, I'm not necessarily saying a new competitor for PSA is going to rise, but I do think the future of grading is going to change. So let me present a few scenarios, right? So currently, in order to get your cards graded, it takes 2 months to 3 months plus, even, if you're just going with the standard standard package. Now, a lot of that has to do with shipping and insurance, people being able to physically grade those cards and reship them back out, and then you get them again. Right? So it has to go through this entire process. So let's say the process is time consuming. So in the future years, if we could fix that, that'll be a main concern. All right. 2, inconsistencies, right? Inconsistencies is one of the biggest ones I think everybody could probably agree with. CSGO does this thing. If you've ever played CSGO, they have what's called a float value. And each skin in a game is given a float value. So let me see if I can't pick something up here. Here's a good example. So let's look at CSGO. So these are skins in CSGO. You basically get them from chests or crates, and you unlock them with a key, basically opening a pack. And you can get one of these weapons, aka cards, and it's given a grade, right? So a factory new is 0.00 to 0.07. That'll be a factory new. Minimal wear, 0.07 to 0.15, etc. Now, I think if a company incorporated this, the idea would be, because I see this at card shows even now as we speak. People are saying, "Oh, that's a low 10," That's a low 10, or that's a high 10. That's a perfect 10. They're saying it's already given a grade, right? It's already given a grade, but people already want to even dive further into that grade, right? So if I give a 10, say I have a 10 stained glass birds, right? I have a 10, you have a 10. We should just be able to trade them, right? We should just be able to trade them as is. You're still happy. I'm still happy. That works, right? Well, what's going on now is people are like looking at the card. They're like, I think my 10 is better than your 10. So naturally, what I think is going to happen is that people are going to want to have more proof of their cards. They want more consistency in what is given to them. So I think the key is to eventually expand our grades, right? I think we do need to dive into, it is a 9.5772, That way you can say that it's better than a 9.5771, And I think, and you're probably wondering, why would you want that? Well, who cares that much? I think we're going to get there, is kind of what I'm saying. Because I think what's going to happen is I think AI is going to really push itself onto how we do things. I think the biggest thing with grading currently that just makes me not excited to ever grade stuff is inconsistencies, right? If I send in a card, especially to the same company, I should always get the same grade, right? But people are like, oh, it depends on your grader or how they're feeling that day. And I think that's a problem. And And I think that's a problem that either competition is going to sort out, or eventually consumers are just going to be like, here's the thing. The minute you get a company that grades your card twice, 3 times, 4 times in a row, the same exact, that is going to crush PSA. If PSA hasn't done their version of that already. Because you're getting the exact same grade. Your card is perfectly graded. At whatever standard it's doing, it's grading it correctly, right? And it's not just based on someone who's 7 when it's graded a 9 the past 2 times, right? So fast forward 5-10 years and ask yourself, are we at that stage? Are we doing things where you can scan a code like we already can with PSA, and you can see the entire card. You can see its float value, and you can go and compare it to another person's. And obviously, the price will fluctuate based on this. And I don't think it's necessarily going to hurt the market, but I think it's going to give the market more certainty with what they have. And I think it's going to be good for it. So I think moving forward, it only makes sense that PSA is going to have competition that's willing to do this. I think Tag is a good example already with bringing AI into it, because it not only does it shorten the amount of time that they need the cards because AI is doing it, but I could even see in a world where you take your card to a machine, like imagine like the Pokemon Center machines right now, where you take your card and you put it in, and it scans it, does everything, and it gives you the slab and grade right then and there. And because you don't really need the people, you just need the software, you need the grading technology, and the algorithms that it's going to use. So I think the grading scene is going to change greatly here in the coming years. I don't think necessarily right away. I think the leader of it will be PSA. But for this video, I'm going to say PSA is going to fail, just to gain eyes and attraction on the video. So don't freak out. All right. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. You found out the secret. But yeah, I'm going to put something like that to just really kind of get people's eyes on it. But I think it is going to change. I think AI is going to take over. It only makes sense. And I think people want more consistency, and they want more depth with what they're putting in, especially when these cards are coming out to be, $20,000 in value. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Personally, I don't really grade, cause I'm always kind of waiting for the market or a good deal, to send my cards off, but the market's just always kind of growing. So what I should have sent off a long time ago, and I wouldn't have got charged the surplus fee for it coming back at 10, I'm probably gonna have to pay it now. But that's fine. And I wouldn't even be surprised if PSA does something like this. They say, hey, we're retaking back your submissions. If you had a 10, we will regrade them in the new float value. Yada yada yada. I could see them doing something like that, because something will have to be done to kind of grandfather those older cards in, if you will. But again, I think technology is going to move things much quicker. Regrading all the cards out there right now seems so daunting and impossible. And it may well be. But I can definitely see a world where, this is the future. And I wouldn't be surprised if companies are already trying to do this and try to really expand their values in terms of what these grades are. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think and again, I'm not saying PSA is going to get dethroned. I think the person or the company that's in the best place to move forward with this is PSA. And I think the minute they have competition presenting itself doing so, they'll have to match it, because the consumers are going to like whatever they're doing. I mean, if you look at Tag, people really like that Tag was doing a good job of like AI grading, but then their quality control was just terrible and slabs were breaking on scene. But I mean, that's easier to fix than I think your algorithm or your AI software being off. So anyways, I'm excited to see where things go. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. And yeah, give me your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, drop a subscription. It helps out a lot, and makes it easier for me to do this in the future. Gives me purpose, and appreciate you guys. All right, y'all have a good one. This was just on the top of my brain. I was talking to Buddy with it, and let me know what you think. Later.